So in this video I'm going to go through a couple of websites that can be very useful for you. I'm going to go through some OpenStreetMap resources to help you in finding information about correct tagging. I'm also going to show you how to get some simple statistics. So first off, statistics for people editing in Lesotho, and also simple statistics on your own edits. I'm also going to show you some websites which can help you extract data out of OpenStreetMap in various formats, and I'm also going to run through quality control, so how some websites will help you find errors in the map data and make it much easier to fix them. And lastly then, I'm going to show you a website which is very handy for creating a map more or less on the fly, that you can do within 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long you want to spend at it. And it can be very useful for doing a very quick mock-up to illustrate a certain point or feature or whatever you wish to use. And the very last one then is just a website which is being created by a couple of people, which has a lot of information regarding OSM as well. So the first one is OpenStreetMap. Most people should be familiar with this one. You can sign up here if you're not a member, or just simply click login here and log into the website that way. You edit by clicking this down arrow here and selecting either the IDE browser editor or JOSM. If you'd like to export some data, you zoom into the area that you want, click export, and you're giving a bounding box, and you can just click export and the data will be exported for you. If you want it a larger area or in different formats, you're given a list of options down here. So the next thing I want to show you is the OSM wiki. So this has grown over the years. I think now there's over 1 million pages in it. It's very useful for finding information on tagging. One of the principal pages is the map features web page. Now I'm not going to open it here because it's a very large web page and can take several minutes to actually load, but it contains a huge amount of data for the vast majority of tags that you may need information on. However, it's also useful for other information. So let's say, for example, if you were searching for information on how to tag a shop, you simply type in shop, you'll find here key shop, and then underneath you'll find other pages related to it, but this is the one you're looking for. So if I click into that, it brings me through here. So you'll find loads of different information, how you should add address information, contact information, other information that you can add, and then all the various different types of shops. So this is just a sample list. You can add in additional ones if they don't exist in this list, and by all means do so. That's the whole point of OSM. If something isn't there that suits your needs, you can simply create new information. So that's how you use the wiki. It's very useful for getting information on tagging, especially when you're new to tagging, because you're simply not going to remember all this information. So I would advise strong usage of this website. Also, there is another website called TagInfo. So if I type in here the same thing, shop, and do a quick search on it, what you'll see I get 1.5 million results. Now this is for worldwide. So in the second tab here you'll see values. So if I click into that, you'll see all the various different options here, so where they become linked up. So if I come back here to key and click on shop again, and then go into my values here for that 1.5 million, this is where it breaks out into all the various different types of shops. So I've got supermarkets, convenience, clothes, bakery, hairdressers, car repair, and so on and so on and so on. So if you're looking for information to see how many types or how many times is a certain tag used. So if I wanted to say, for example, find shop equals bakery, I can search for that. Click into here. Oh yeah, it shows it to me here. So I have 81,000 times. So if I look for shop equals baker, I'd find only one usage, which indicates that the correct way of tagging somewhere where cakes or breads are baked is as a bakery, not a baker. To give another example, if I was looking for a butcher, I would find 30,000 results. If I searched for butchery, I find, one moment, slow connection. Zero items. So that's why that took so long. So, which again gives you an idea of the correct way of tagging these would be as shop equals butcher. So that's what tag info is very useful for. If you have an idea of how to tag something but you're a little unsure as to how to tag it, this is very useful for telling you which way to do it. In addition, just as I go through each of these websites, the address for them will be up here on the top on the first page that I visit for most of them. If not, I'll point it out to you. So moving on to the next one, I have OSM stats. So here I'm showing you the Ireland page, so I'm going to pop out to the Lesotho page. So the address for this website is osmstats.neis-one.org. So osmstats.niceone.org. So this will show you an awful lot of information for OSM as a whole. So you can see there's 1.9 million contributors at the moment. Yesterday there were 3,000 active members. In the last week there's been 8,000. In the last 30 days there's been 20,000. So just to go into countries here, if I click on this one, and if I do a quick search for Lesotho, here we go. So I can see that 18 people were editing yesterday. So if I click in here, it opens up this web page. So I can see 18 people added this much information, modified this many nodes, and deleted this many. So it gives me a 7-day timeline, 30-day timeline, and a timeline back as far as 31st of October 2011, I think it is. You can also do the same with the bottom graph, which shows you added and modified and deleted nodes. So you can see here, as we look at the data for Lesotho, you can see there was very little activity, and then we kicked things off in around the middle of March 2014, and as you can see, huge progress since then. So this is just useful to give you a quick snapshot of how your community is doing and how many edits are being done. So the next one is, just delete this last part here, it's hdyc.neis-one.org. So it's how did you contribute to OpenStreetMap. So if you put your username in here and click search, it'll give you some information about when you joined, how many days you've been active, and it gives you a type of mapper as well. It'll show you as well how many nodes you've created, modified, deleted, and it will also give you a general rank in terms of OpenStreetMap overall. So if there are 1.9 million people signed up, I'm ranked 369 out of that. It will also show you information on what type of features you add. So some people specifically only map addresses, in which case you'd see the vast majority of information showing up under here. If you map a lot of different features, then you'll see a widespread similar to what I have here. It'll also show you your most frequent area and latest activity area as well on the map. It will also show you the very first node that you edited and your most recent node that you edited. It will also give you a breakdown of the countries that you've mapped in as well, and a timeline as to your mapping habits, and also days of the week when you're most active and hours of the day when you're most active. And the very last thing then is what kind of editor you used to do all your various edits. So from that then you can also see where did you contribute to OpenStreetMap, which is this next page here. So again, if you delete that last bit out there, this is the website. So it's yosmhm.nice1-1.org. Okay, and this gives you a simple heat map, so you can see the vast majority of my edits are in Ireland, but I've done some in Mali, done some in, I think that's the DRC, some over in Kathmandu in Nepal, but Lesotho is the next highest on my heat map, so you can see a large area down here as well. So those few ones are just kind of nice to have, nice to show you how you've progressed as time has gone by since you've joined. And as well as that, you can also move this back and see how, as time has gone by, your edits have spread out across the world. Okay, so you can see those all growing there. So the next section I'm going to show you is how you extract data. So this one Colin has gone through before. It's called geofabric.de. So you simply click on downloads, go to the Africa page, and you want Lesotho, which brings you to this page here, which allows you to pull it down in PBF or zip file or various other different types as well. Okay, so that gives you all the data for the country. The next one I'm going to show you is called Overpass Turbo. So this is very handy if, again, you want to run a very, very quick query just to get some information. So if I do a quick search for, let's say, supermarket in Lesotho, it will build a query here for me, so it writes all the code out for me, and it will return the results of all the supermarkets that have been mapped. So if I click on this one here, it tells me building yes, and it's a supermarket. This one here is a supermarket, and so on. So this one has a name on it as well. Okay, so it's very, very useful for running quick queries. You can also build very powerful queries in this as well once you understand the language. So if you want more information on this, you'll see here under the help, it will tell you about how to write the overpass queries. If you do a search on the OSM wiki, there's a big feature there on overpass and how to use it and how to get the most out of it. So the next one I'm going to show you is basically a way of monitoring changes within your country or within your area of interest. So to do it, you simply search for the area that you want to monitor. So I'm going to select Kingdom of Lesotho, which gives me this bounding box here. Now, unfortunately, the thing with this is this will also pull in edits that are done in these parts of South Africa, but unfortunately can't be helped. So once you get that done, you click continue. So what you get is RSS links to OSM notes, who did it feeds, new to OSM, and Osmose QA. This one for KeepWrite doesn't work. So what this one does, new to OSM, is if you subscribe to the RSM feed, it will show you all the new people who have started editing in your country in the last 7 days. If you subscribe to this RSS feed, what this will do is it will show you every single change set that is uploaded within the border of Lesotho and that small area of South Africa as well. who did it, and links to their change sets and so on. And the very last one then, OSM notes, is if anybody adds a note to OpenStreetMap within that bounding box, it will show up on this list as well. So these are very handy to subscribe to. You can get apps for your phone which will bring this information straight to your phone, so when you have a bit of downtime you can browse through it real quick. If there's a name you don't recognize for a new editor, you can pop in, have a quick look, see if they've done any damage, or if there's any malicious edits, or if you can give them any tips, and you can contact them that way through OSM then. So the next set of sites I'm going to show you are more how to get information out of OSM again. So this particular one is called OSM Boundaries. So it's a very long-winded web address up there. That's it there. I'm not going to read it out because it's too messy. But if I scroll down here, and go down to Lesotho. This is under Kingdom of Lesotho. So if I click into that box, it will bring me to Lesotho. And because I've only clicked that box, it will allow me to extract only this boundary. Which means if all I want is this, I can just click export down here. I can select the format that I want it in. If I wanted the district boundaries as well, I just click these boxes and it will give me all the various districts. I just have to wait for that to update, and then you will see the various district boundaries going through there. So I'm not going to wait for that to update. I'm going to, there we are. So there's your 10 districts around the country. Okay, so again, you're given the option down here to export those as well if you want them. So the next one then is called OSM IQ. I'm not going to go into this in detail because it's still in development, but essentially again it allows you to extract specific features if you want, or specific information, and it can be useful again for doing analysis. So the address to that one is up the top here. It's osm-iq.de/de/. It's very long-winded. There it is up there. The very last one for extracting data that I'm going to show you is called OSM Extractor. So this one is just useful for pulling out specific data, again in say shapefile or CSV formats, and you can request that they configure certain extracts for you if you're only looking for a specific area. So the next two I'm going to show are quality control websites. So if I just move the slider across here, you can see this is Lesotho here. And what I've selected here is tagging, and these are all the various errors that can possibly show up. Some of them are false fails, so they're not always actual errors. This can sometimes just point out things that, hey, you need to have a look at these. They're not an error, but it could be possible to improve the data. So if I look then again at geometry, what you will find is the geometry for Lesotho is actually pretty good, but we do have a few where it's a single node in a way, so it shouldn't happen. So there's 5 of those within Lesotho that need to be fixed. If you click on one, what you'll see on this side here is you can open it in ID, Potlatch, or JOSM. You can open up a data browser for this, or you can open a history overview so as you can see who actually added this piece of information. So the next website I'm going to show you is called KeepRight. So there's the full address for it up on top there. So how you use this, again, there's a set list of errors that it will show, but what you can do is you can click here to show none, and then just pick specific errors. So for example, almost junctions. So this is where a line has been drawn for a road, and it comes close to another road where it looks like there should be a junction, but the two roads are not joined in OSM. So if I click that, you would see there are a few instances of this in the OpenStreetMap data. And with Keep Right, it doesn't fill the whole screen, it only goes to a small area, so you may have to move the map around to get it to show you new information. So again, how you fix this is you click on it and you select how you want to edit it. Once you edit it, if you fixed it, then you tick this box here and click save. Or if it's not an actual error, you can click here and save. Okay. So one of the last sites I wanted to show you was UMap. So this is a very handy website. As it says here, it lets you create maps with OpenStreetMap layers in a minute and embed them on your site. So you can choose the layers, add POIs, manage POI colors and icons, manage map options, a mini map, and so on. You can do a batch import, choose the license, and embed and share your map as well on the website if you want. So to give you an example of how this works, so if I wanted to, say, zoom in here and mark out a specific area as being for development, I can just simply draw as I would on anything else, and it will create a polygon for me. I can name what it is, I can add advanced properties, so the color of it, weight of the lines, and so on. What I can also do then is I can change the background layers. So here we see simple black and white layer, and I can go into further map settings then over here, and if I had additional data that I wanted to add, I would add it under here, add layer. So I can add information under that and add details to that, and then simply flick it on and off. So the very last page I wanted to show you is called Learn OSM. This is a very useful resource for if you want to learn more about the various tools and features within OpenStreetMap. So it's one definitely to bookmark, and when you have some free time, just pop into it, have a quick read. So it's learnosm.org/en/. And that's it. Thank you.